I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. Let's get it on. I'm here. Don't give me love, just fear. Since I made my premiere, got the universe at my will. My power's making you kneel, cause you ain't ready to brawl. I got death's phone number and I'm making a call. I'll walk through portals, step on the borders of time.
Yes. Hello, sorry, my audio wasn't working at first. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fan Battle Cast, where we talk about the matchups y'all pitch to the Death Battle team. And today we have a Jojo matchup, which we have had a couple of, but this one I think is one of the more popular ones. We have Jolyne Cujoh from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, Part 6, versus Mayday Parker, the alternate universe daughter of Spider-Man. This one is kind of I feel like it has a lot of surface level connections but it has a bit more under the hood as well. It's basically the children of iconic heroes with thread-based abilities is the main core theme as far as I'm aware. But there's also a lot more to this matchup that we're going to be getting into soon. Yeah, it's an interesting pick. A lot of people put her up against Spider-Gwen, I've been seeing, but I think this one is going to be a good one. I, as usual, am your host, Santi Sherm. With us today, representing Jolyne Cujoh, who else could it be but JobberGodot? Say hi.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jobber Joe Star with the stand. Jobber Free. I'm going to be representing Jolyne, her stand, Stone Free today. Glad to be back on here, you know what I'm saying? I'm very happy about this, you know what I'm saying?
And another returner, one of our most win-streaky debaters, we have Saul representing Mayday Parker.
I was hoping he did bring that up. Hi guys, it's me. You might know me. I've been around a lot on this cast. I'm going to be representing Mayday.
I was going to say prolific, but that wasn't technically correct.
Please no.
We have with us today, as our jury, we have the pitcher for this matchup. We have Ditto Exodia. Say hi.
Hello. I'm very excited to hear this discussed in excruciating detail.
It will be so excruciating. We're known for being excruciating. With us today, for the first cast, I believe, you might know them from the pitch video of... Why am I blanking on what pitch you did?
I believe it was MacGyver versus the A-Team.
Right, yes. Yeah, they...
Oh wow, you pitched that one. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was me.
I didn't even know that was you. That's awesome.
That's good. It's the orange shirt. Throws everybody off. And also, new office. But anyway, I'm really, really excited to be here. Super. It's very rare I get any time, like free time. So this is the first I'm stoked. I love JoJo's. I love Spider-Man. So I am set. I am locked in.
And we also have with us today, we have Dr. Fiction, a close friend of mine.
Hello, I am happy to be back. It's gonna be cool. A big JoJo fan. Spider-Man is cool too, I guess.
Now, we have a lot of JoJo fans, but I promise we are unbiased. It's just how it shakes out sometime. Mayday has not been in the limelight in a hot second.
I beat the Spider-Man PS4 game once. That helps,
That's
right?
a good game. That's a good game. Alright. So, I think we can just kind of jump right in now. We have, Jolyne, I think, is the more, well-known character. So, Jobber, we'll have you go first.
Alright.
I'll pull up the 60 seconds.
Just tell me when to go and I got you. Alright now?
We'll just do rearranging. Alright, whenever you're ready, I'll start the timer.
Alright, I'm ready.
Alright, start.
Alright. So, Jolyne is the main Joestar of JoJo Part 6. Her story started with a car accident with her boyfriend that led to her being sent to prison. But during that process, her father sends her like an amulet, right? And when she opens it, she's cut like by a piece of the arrow, quickly gaining a stand, which is a manifestation of a stand user's fighting spirit and mental power. She uses this stand, Stone Free, to save her friend like Hermes from being assaulted and enact justice on her lawyer for, setting her up. From then on, her father, like Jojo Cujoh, surprise, surprise, comes to save her, but she doesn't reciprocate because she hates him. But then she finds out that like she was just trying to keep her safe like this whole time, right? Because like I don't know, just basically Dio's a dick, okay? And so are his followers. They're after Jojo's head, right? So he's just trying to keep her safe the entire time. And during that process where she found out about this at the last second, Jojo saved her, but his men put into a coma.
All right. Good back. We don't usually get a lot of backstory, so I actually really appreciate you going in on the backstory this one.
Yeah.
All right. Lining up Saul to bat. Whenever you start, we'll start the 60 seconds.
So this is an alternative universe version where the Spider-Man writers decided they would give Peter a break. So Peter Parker and Mary Jane had a little baby, and it was Mayday Parker / Spider-Girl. She didn't actually start off as a spider person. She developed those powers in her teenage years, where she kind of became the protector of the city. She is an incredibly powerful, versatile individual who is obviously got a lot of the same powers as Peter himself, and like cleans up a lot of the same problems as Peter. Like a lot of his villains come back in this like future, and she has to battle against them. She's got a way better spider sense than him. She's kind of more mobile at times, and she has her own unique powers that really makes her stand out from the crowd. She kind of balances her life between the Spider-Man life and the school kind of personal life. And also, having Spider-Man as her dad, which is usually a pretty big issue.
All right. So I feel like this has a lot of different aspects we could talk about. I think their speed stats, their various abilities. I think we mostly went over Jolyne's backstory, so I think a good place to start might be like what Jolyne's general whole deal is. Like, what's her like general power set?
Okay, I can start, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to begin with a power set, I just want to really go in depth on what a stand is. Okay, so a stand is a powerful vision created by the user's own life energy, and well, there's more explanation on what a stand is. I mean, was it that Sherm's gonna show like the scans on screen that I sent like in DMs, but the author Araki in an interview states that like stands are a physical manifestation of people's will and soul. Stands are also described as spiritual, and in the Jojo Valley guidebook made by Araki, he also regards like stands as spiritual energy of life, strong mental like power, like endless paranormal powers. That's what stands are, right? They're fighting spirit controlled by the user's will and psychic energy. There are a lot of things, okay? But you gotta get the gist, okay? Soul, mind, supernatural, paranormal, you get the gist, okay? And only, the biggest thing is, for this matchup, is that only stands can interact with stands. So they're untouchable to anyone who doesn't like, and they're also unseatable to anyone who doesn't possess the capability to interact with these spirits that can interact with them. Now, Stonefree, once again, is Jolyne's stand. Stonefree's stand ability is strings, something Jolyne can utilize from her own body or from like her stands. So here's all like the useful stuff it can do that's relevant to this debate with a Mayday. So the strings can stop attacks and just slice off body parts. Their range is ridiculous, as like the strings can seemingly strangle like a corrupt lawyer from like a mile away, if you can see in that image. Jolyne also uses this string to snatch things from people. And since Stonefree is a just clustered string, it can punch through like most obstacles without like needing to like use brute force. Like for example, Stonefree punched straight through like a fenced up gate, right? It molding its hand through the fence. Okay, even doing like a whole like high speed or like barrage, right? Which is basically just throwing your fist at punching the person over and over again. But anyways, Jolyne, even while like off guard and surprised, can instantly protect herself from any fatal attack by like creating whatever she needed at the moment, like with Stonefree, like a bulletproof vest faster than she can even like process like what she even got hit by. It's all basically it's an instinctual self-protection, right? Now Jolyne can use Stonefree to curve multiple small like projectiles like bullets away from her to miss. And when she did that, she used like Stonefree strings to like get inside like an enemy's gun or equipment to essentially kind of sabotage it to make these things miss, right? Jolyne can use Stonefree to unravel herself, like and run on water. She can even attack while doing this. Jolyne can use her like own body as a trap, like in a fight. Like if someone were to strike her in the gut, then like she turned that part of like her body into strings and make a hole like right before the person like actually makes contact to then trap that person's like arm essentially, negating the attack, and also allowing Jolyne to of course beat them up. Jolyne can use Stone Free to like make a thick sheets of like threads around her like body to protect herself from like poisonous liquids. Jolyne can make her strings surround a large area like a spider web. That sounds familiar. Anyways, the point of this move is so that like Jolyne always knows where like an enemy is exactly at all times because they'll be forced to touch her strings. It doesn't matter if the opponent is like traveling up, down, left, right, etc. This completely takes stealth and surprise off the table for any who try that on Jolyne, as she used this strategy on an opponent who was literally invisible to her. It's a good thing Miles Morales isn't fighting her. But if you want a name for this technique, it's like a 3-dimensional trap is what she kind of calls it essentially. Jolyne can use her strings to redirect physical attacks, like someone throwing a punch, and then use her strings to quickly restrain them. Jolyne can negate durability by using her strings to pierce through a person's eardrums and mangle their body from the inside out. I'm not even kidding. Like she did this, and this is like consistent that she's like willing to use this option, like when she put like let's say like a string, like a crushed up penny, I think it was, and I don't know. Basically, she crushed it up so much, and then she put it on a string and threw it into a person's body, right, through their mouth, like put a string in there, right. She's willing to do these types of things, right, to catch a W. Okay, Jolyne can use her strings to reconnect any severed body part and morph that like body part into cuffs that she can once again like use to somewhat restrain her opponent and keep them in close range combat. Now, Gucci, despite being a little faster, is having a difficult time in the fight, noting the strings are like as powerful and pliable. Jolyne can unravel most of her body to blend into people's clothing and hide behind them. Jolyne again unravels most of her body like into like Hermes to protect herself from an explosion. Jolyne is so good at patching up her wounds. It's pretty insane actually. She's so good at patching up her wounds with strings that she can even reverse and patch up body parts parts of her body that have been like inverted / like turned inside out through like a gravity ability. That's pretty insane. But that kind of just really covers it for the abilities of Jolyne / Stone Free.
Now you send me scans for all those things. I tried to bring up a couple of them, but in general, it just went way too fast for me to try to keep up.
Oh, sorry about that.
Putting up the scans. You brought up a lot. So much that I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't keep track of everything that was relevant.
Sorry about that.
But in general, it's like they have the stand, which is the usual stand abilities, and the main thing is that the stand can turn into strings, and Jolyne has been incredibly creative with the way that both her body and the sand can be made of strings, right?
Yes.
Alright. So that would be the comparison. This fight would be Mayday's webbings fluid. So yeah, what is Mayday bringing to the table besides what she got to work with?
Mayday is bringing a hell of a lot. So just to talk about her kind of basic abilities, obviously she has her webbing, which is part of these cartridges. It's like classic, Peter Parker cartridges that she's able to fire out. She can use this in a variety of ways. Obviously, there's like sticking people, like disarming them. She can make web shields. She can like create webs in front of people. She's been able to like block and react to electricity from Electro's daughter using this. She's made stuff like wing slingshots to shoot herself like across, and a wing and like a web parachute to prevent herself from falling. Her webbing is like, it's very hard to break out of. Like it's elastic. It can like bend metal, and it's being able to restrain a bunch of different incredibly powerful people, like Kane, who is one of the kind of like started off kind of a villain, kind of ended up teaming up with her for a bit. She can use that to kind of swing around. That's kind of the basic webbing thing. She has impact webbing, which is a lot more of like a forceful blast. So it gets shot towards you and it hits you, and it's a lot more like, aren't you like being hit by like a truck?
Mm.
It's very like incredibly painful. Apart from that, she has her give me a minute. Oh, she has her stingers. She doesn't really like to use these often because they're a lot more lethal, but she can like shoot these out and they like stab into you, and they're incredibly just deadly through that.
Eh.
But oh, she also has access to dimensional portals, thanks to her being a part of all the Spider-Geddon stuff, which makes sense. That's just
Does
that's
that
just
give
how it
her
works.
standard teleportation, or is it just only for going to different dimensions?
I feel like it's just going to different dimensions from what I was able to see.
Okay.
She also she's used a sonic cannon to fight against Carnage. So she has that to use. But perhaps her most interesting powers is her repel effect and her magnetism. So one of the things she's able to do is just repel, basically. Like one time she was fighting one of the Green Goblins, not the Green Goblin, but another version, touched his glider and like sent him flying upwards. She was like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I do this. Boom! And he goes flying upwards. She's also used the repel to like bounce herself off of objects, and she's repelled like attacks coming towards her. It's just a very just incredibly useful ability, as you might imagine.
The repelling is like an extension of the wall crawling ability, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but she can just kind of like just touch people and like force them in a certain direction, you know? It is an incredibly like versatile ability. And the other thing she has is her magnetism. It's called magnetism, but there's it's unclear from my readings if it's actually magnetic properties, you know? But she can like magnetize surfaces or like weapons and like stick people to it or just keep people suspended in the air.
Keep people suspended in the air?
Yeah, she did it to one of I forget who it was, but I think it was one of her like friends. She can like just like magnetize a surface, something like that, you know?
Like
If I recall,
like similar polarities, I guess.
It's weird. It's kind of it's a weird thing. I think that's the best way that I can.
It's like a projection of the wall crawling. Like it's like a static cling almost.
Yeah, like I don't think it's intended to be magnetic in the same way that like we would it's just magnetic in the fact that like, oh, you're stuck in it, you know?
Okay.
And yeah, obviously she has like wall crawling and all that, but there. Perhaps her most important ability is her spider sense, which is like genuine fate manipulation at times.
Wait, what?
She's described to have better spider sense than Peter Parker himself, which you might think, okay, that's just a statement. No, she consistently has been able to mess with things. Her spider sense will tell her like when people are watching her, when people are stalking her, but it will even tell her like, oh, she can't get changed in this location because someone is likely to walk in. Like when she's like changing out of her suit, you know?
That's funny.
But it's like, it's so wacky and powerful, her spider sense in particular. It's like she is able to react to it before she realizes she's reacting to anything. Like, her spider sense activates, she reacts, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened, you know? She's been able to sense through illusions, both Mysterio and Loki's illusions, funny enough. She has she's learned to trust her spider sense, which is like a big thing that she had to do. It's like very sensitive, and the most important kind of thing about this is that it finds the weakest points in an individual for her to like target. So it's like an auto weakness type thing, you know?
So, I feel like you basically already answered this, but some people in the chat are asking if that she'd be able to see the stand or if the strings are also invisible. I imagine with how you're saying this, would you say the spider sense would be able to let her?
Can you bring up Dead Spot Invisible, please? So, Dead Spot is an assassin who is hired to kill Mayday on multiple different occasions, and his entire thing is that he's invisible, right? That is his entire lowdown, his entire power, is the fact that he's able just to go invisible. As you can see in that little bottom panel, he just disappears. And she ducks and weaves through all of his attacks and is eventually able to land a strike on him. And he's like, I can't believe this. How did you do this? And she's done this multiple different times. Like, when she was, she managed to corner... Oh, sorry. When she managed, yeah, you can see he's like, how did you do that? So, and like Dead Spot is a very powerful assassin who knows what he's doing. It's not like, oh, I've just used my invisibility the first time. No, he's like a hired gun. But like after this, he gets like hit away, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna go now. Bye, bye, bye. So she disappears invisible, and then Mayday is able to sense where she is, even though she's completely invisible and silent, and web her up.
That's pretty good. I'm also reminded the way that she was fighting kind of reminded me of when Naruto was fighting the Limbo clones. It just looked like he was boxing with no one from everyone else's perspective.
And like, but yeah, and like just to, again, more how powerful this teleport is. She was fighting another assassin called Mr. Nobody.
Shit.
Mr. Nobody. No, that's a different.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of. I was thinking of DC.
Yeah, thinking of the DC one.
This scared me.
This Mr. Nobody is a teleporter. So his entire thing is he can teleport around, get strikes off, and Mayday was able to perfectly predict where he was going to teleport with her sense, which is like insane when you realize he could have teleported anywhere. You know. She just chose to tackle in that spot. A couple of other things is like the spider sense can work through. So basically, in one of the early comic arcs, Carnage came back. He was like locked underground. He got released. And before he was even doing Carnage stuff, her spider sense was like, hang on now, something's off. When she stepped onto the Avengers Tower for the first time, before the defensive grid activated, she sensed the attack and dodged them all. And perhaps what's really important for one of this debates is one of her friends, I'm blanking on the name, who's a mutant, releases these like constantly projecting like projectiles, right? Like energy waves pulsating around her body, and through her spider sense, she was able to navigate between the senses and get to her. Also, this is the when she's fleeing, Dead Spot, and just whoop, easily zeroes in on her. She's also like I said, it's almost like plot manipulation because she can tell if someone's like not up to no good. So like she walks past these cops and she's like, oh, my spider sense is going. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with these cops over here, you know?
I don't need a spider sense to know that. That's all I'm saying. Like she can tell how like corrupt someone is.
Yeah. And also she's been able to fight blind and stuff, so sight is not a very important factor here. So even if she can't see stone free, there is a very like great argument to say that she can just dodge around stone free. Because she's dodged like multiple different attacks at once, from like large ping pong balls from Crazy 8 all at once to her own father's like drones and stuff. She's been able to like find items, navigate through fields. She's able to sense like individuals' presence in a room. Like this was in the first Dead Spot of that whole invisible fight thing. She was like, I'm sensing someone in particular. Like she's like, she leaves and she's like, okay, bye person. Dead Spot appears. He's like, ha 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 ha, I'm evil. And then she comes back. She's like, I knew you were in the room. I knew it. My spider sense was telling me. She can even detect like if someone is lying to her. That's how crazy her spider sense gets. And like, yeah, she acts on instinct all the time and stuff. So she is just a incredibly insane and powerful foe with her spider sense.
So suffice to say, it sounds like Jolene's nature as a stand user isn't by itself gonna give her any big advantage.
No, I mean, like, she can't hurt Stone Free, but there's no reason for her to, like, target it when the weak points of the spider sense would identify Jolyne as, like, the person she can hurt.
Okay. So we've covered a good bit about their versatility. I feel like we technically covered everything in a quick succession. What would you two say are like some of the more relevant abilities that are going to give them an edge over the other?
I guess I could go first and Saul goes. So, what I think are the relevant abilities that at least can help secure Jolyne like a W. This is like part of the reason. It's like, so when it comes to Mayday, like targeting Jolyne, for example, instead of Stone Free, let's say, for example, Mayday decides to target as a weak point. Where, I mean, before we get to stats, you're gonna realize like every part of Jolyne's body is gonna be a weak point here. But the point is, Mayday is going to hit a certain body part. Let's say it could be like she goes for a gut punch, and Jolyne will actively just morph her body to just make like Mayday just miss her attack and her arm just go straight through and just trap her and then just beat her up, right? So she's missed her attack. Or let's say if Mayday like actually, let's say, goes for another weak point, let's say like cuts off the arm or something like that, or punches the arm off. That's pretty extreme. But something like that, which involves like the eliminating Jolyne. Jolyne would just like use her strength to just instantly bring the body part back, and it's just instantly good as new, right? And also, one thing that I think I did mention to cover, at least for abilities, is that Jolyne, I feel like I did cover this, but if I didn't, I'm going to say it one more time, is that she was able to like unravel, let's say like, a baseball, for example. She can unravel clothing and all this other types of stuff, right? And I think she would do the same to Mayday's, suit that is made out of fabric, and she would just at one point, at a certain point in the fight, she would just use her strings to just like go inside of, let's say, Mayday's body through her nose, her eardrums, and then just mangle her body from the inside out and just like kill her. I think it's pretty useful, like ability wise. Like she has like 3 ways. She only has 3 ways she could just like put down, Mayday with her abilities, right? And she could also use her strings to sabotage the web shooters, right? So Mayday's just gonna miss wherever she's gonna go, and it maybe even like destroy the web shooters as well. So there's a lot of useful things that like Jolyne can do with her strings, and also not even just to mention that if Jolyne does get hurt, she can really just patch herself up kind of just instantly with the strings and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's useful.
For some of the chat, I have a feeling that some of them who haven't actually seen Stone Free and only know the surface level stuff might not actually think that this is in character. Like, this sounds like the usual versus, well, technically this ability will let you, like, do this if you were smart about it. Like, nah, this is in character for her. I feel like she's gotten like, inside of people many times.
Yeah, here. So, yeah, many times in here. I'm, like, sure to add 2 dots, right? So, like, show them, like, the first dot, right? Like, those first 3 with Jolyne that guard. And the fact that she, like, puts her strings... the dot, like in DMs, like the first dot that I just sent. So like just show them those like the 3 images, and then above that dot at 625, just show them like the 5 images of like Jolene's like Stone Free, like crushing a coin, and then she literally inserts the coin into that prisoner's mouth, right?
Yeah.
Essentially into her stomach even. To essentially looks like poison with that crushed up coin, right? So Jolyne is 100% willing to do this stuff, and I'll even show. I feel like I didn't here. I'll even add another dot to show y'all, like, let's say for example Jolyne like unraveling things. Like let's say Jolyne like she like used Stone Free to like completely unravel and re-ravel clothing and objects like a baseball, right? And she used objects like a baseball like as a yo-yo. Pitch like a yo-yo pitch machine of death or some shit like that. That'll be enough to like render any foe like out of commission, as y'all can see. So yeah, these are definitely things very in character for Jolyne to do. Like she does this all the time. Like she's one of the most in my opinion, she's one of the most creative Joestars, like in terms of like how they use their stands. And I can't wait to talk about that when we get to the section about like talking about like let's say battle IQ and skill. Like I really got to pop off the back section for Jolyne. It's just like actually insane stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, someone in the comments was asking a question, like, what happens when they throw their webs and their threads at each other? Like, what would they get like tangled up? That was a question I saw.
Oh, would they get tangled up? I mean, like that is a very good question. So I don't think the webs would really stick to. I don't think they would stick to Stone Free at all, because it's not really a tangible object or anything like that. And even if it does, like this stand could just like Jolyne could just make her stand disappear and reappear, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see them interact. I think Stone Free itself is immune to these whatever properties these webs have. Obviously, Jolyne isn't. That's kind of my thought process right now for it, at least.
So, Saul, are there any kind of abilities that you think would be particularly relevant before we move on to stuff like IQ and stuff?
I think, again, the spider sense is really important. Because, again, it's just a tell before something is going to happen. Like, Stone Free realistically isn't going to be able to land an amazing hit. And I know we talked about Stone Free's range and that, but Mayday is constantly swinging around in her fights, right? And like, if she gets hit, a lot of the things she does like acrobat, because before she's a spider person, she's a basketball player. So she's able to like quickly recover from being hit and just start swinging again. And even if her web cartridges are broken, which can technically happen, she has fought way more powerful foes than Jolyne just without the cartridges, just basically on her pure strength and instinct. So I don't think that would be like a complete game ender as it might seem, because genuinely that just happens so much,
Okay.
And like yeah, say like she goes to punch Jolyne goes for the like I'm gonna put a hole in my body to put a string hole, so she punches through. The spider sense will be able to detect that, and there's no reason why Mayday can't just readjust herself, because again, the spider sense happens before the thing happens, like with the defense grid. And I think another thing as well is that if Mayday has like her hand like say like with a string thing, it's like through Jolyne and stuff. All Mayday really needs to do is put her hand down and she can just blast Jolyne away with the repel. There's nothing stopping that from happening. Or like the big factor here is just magnetizing. I hate the name magnetizing because it's not magnets, but it's like keeping Jolyne suspended in the air to the point where she can't really do anything. There's no realistic way she can break out of that.
You have anything to say about that, Jobber?
In terms of like Jolyne having no way to break out, let's say, well, I mean, I think the biggest thing that's going to be an aspect for this fight is definitely stats, which I think is going to be, in my opinion, a counter. But for now, at least, for ability-wise, let's say if Jolyne, she gets touched with this ability, she is suspended in the air. She has fought like a gravity user, and here I can just like pull this scan up real quick. She's fought like a person who basically had her like just kind of stuck in the air, essentially. Like this person's would have been, huh?
Blake Ringler, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Listen, I'm actually shocked you know his name. No one knows his name, bro. Like he's like trash.
There's also the issue.
It's a guess.
It's good to be like, oh, she fought against this gravity thing, but also like Mayday has a lot more going on than that gravity stand, and also Weather Report was quite there and helpful in that battle.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I didn't get to finish at least what I was like, getting at towards, for that point. One second. Give me a sec. I gotta find the scan. But basically, she was suspended in the air, and while she did have some help from like Weather Report, she was able to use Stone Free to essentially not only defend herself but extend her attacks. Here, I'll send this to Saul real quick. So
The
that's
Saul.
all.
I mean-
Yeah.
I
Oh my
mean-
gosh, there's 2 Sauls. Ah! But
Don't
anyways,
send
I'll
it to
send
me.
this to Sherm. On my bad. So basically, even while she's in there, she can use Stone Free to still attack like Mayday from any like distance and all that type of stuff. Even if Jolyne is repelled onto a wall, Stone Free is the one problem that like Mayday has no answer to. Even if like it doesn't matter if Mayday restrains Jolyne, she can't restrain the stand essentially. And the stand will be after no matter the distance, as y'all can see in these images.
I mean, sure, there's that, but there's also the fact that again, Mayday can realistically weave around Stone Free.
I don't necessarily agree with that because we got to talk about stats. I think stats is the king here. In terms of how she's gonna maneuver around, right? I'm just presenting ability counters to another ability, but like in terms of having the ability to like the physical ability to weave around these stuff and having spider sense can be outsped by other people. So I was just wondering if we could, if we want to talk about that point, we could get to the stats aspect. And
Sure.
start first.
So just a general question. I feel like I might have misunderstood Jolyne's stand ability. We're kind of talking about her being like floating in the air and trapped. I thought like, can't she just like shoot threads? Wouldn't she be able to just like
Well, yeah, she can also
thread onto
like.
something or?
Well, yeah, she can do that as well if she wants to, but yeah, I'd say I really want to emphasize at least Stone Free. Like, let's say even like at like the worst possible scenario, Jolyne is absolutely restrained. Like she's like stuck in midair. Like even if she tried to swing, she couldn't do anything, or she stuck to a wall, she couldn't do anything. Stone Free is like free to do anything it wants to defend Jolyne in any distance. So that's what I want to emphasize, basically.
Okay.
I guess, but there's still also the thing of like the webbing and stuff could really impact that as well. Because then even if Stone Free is this kind of still a free target at the end of the day, it only covers such a surface area, you know?
So do we
You
want
mean
to?
a dist? Oh yeah, what's up?
Nah, I keep going on. I was gonna change the topic.
Like a distance, like in for Stone Free, as that you're suggesting. Like
It's not like it's not like a suit of armor or something, you know. Like
Well-
it can only cover a certain like point at a time, you know.
Well, the thing about Stone Free is that like Jolyne also is essentially made up of the same string. It's a weird humanoid stand type of thing where it's like, well, it doesn't matter if it like covers any certain point of her body. It technically covers all of her body because they're all basically she can make her body strings, right? Just like Stone Free, obviously her ability. So it doesn't matter where, let's say, Mayday punches, Stone Free will have protection at all points of like her body, essentially. It doesn't need to be like, essentially like right there, or like a full suit of body armor, right? It's just wherever like Mayday decides to punch, like, oh, you're gonna punch me in the head. Oh, little string armor here. Like it doesn't. She can put it anywhere, essentially, right?
We
It's
can talk
kind
about
of
stats if you want.
Yeah.
Do we want
And
to move on to stats or IQ next? Because that those
stats,
things are
stats.
I go
brought up.
stats.
Yeah,
Okay.
but before we move to the stats, I just want to make one more thing clear about the range of the strings. Once again, they were able to strangle that like lawyer from like it looked like almost my way, and it's even stated that the strings that like Jolyne can extend, they're strong enough to hold her own weight, but is 24 meters. So it's a pretty good distance for these strings to cover. Essentially, it's a pretty long distance. But yeah, I'm ready to move on stats.
This is like the range feat you were talking about, where Jolyne somehow did this while she's still in the prison in the background.
Yeah, and I'll send you this one as well to put on screen for like more talk about like Stone Free's like oh, that's the wrong image. I think that's that's the wrong image. I just sent you a duplicate of
Yeah,
that
you sent me the same thing you sent me 5 minutes ago.
one. All right, let me look. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Anyways, so it's at the bottom
Okay.
right where it says the extent that she can extend her strings is about 24 meters, essentially. So there is that right there. So that's a pretty sizable distance for this fight to like take place in. So she's going to be able to reach Mayday unless Mayday decides to run away from Jolyne's sheer aura of that pose. Like, god damn, she is posing up a storm.
Or Mayday just fights from a range as well.
Yeah, I did. No, but that was just the pose. Like, it's like
Pose is good.
It's horrifying. Yeah.
So,
All right. Yep.
if we're gonna move on to stats, do we want to do like how powerful they are or how fast they are first?
I think we should do like strength and power, like both. I'm fine with Saul starting this one off.
Okay, sure. So, Mayday kind of has the Peter Parker sloppy seconds where she fights every single Spider-Man villain known to man, from Kingpin to Tombstone to Venom to Carnage. So she should be reasonably granted the full scaling of like Spider-Man characters, and especially during her crossover where she fights multiple different versions of Electro who can all keep up with like Miles and Gwen and all that, you know? So if we just want to talk basic stuff, should I just go with power for now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like an alternative version of like Miles is capable of turning parts of Sandman into glass, which gets to 749.8 tons of TNT. She should be comparable to characters like Deadpool, who got punched really hard and caused an island-sized explosion at 182.1 to 849.6 tons of TNT. But perhaps her most interesting showings is compared to early Iron Man armors. Now, this scaling you can take or leave, but there is a lot of evidence, such as Miles being able to break Hydra Cap's shield with a punch, which took hits from these early Iron Man suits. Obviously, I'm not saying she's going to scale to full-on Iron Man, you know? But these early suits should be able to be granted, considering this type of scaling. Oh, yeah, there's also, like, being able to do damage to Arno Stark's armor, who is, like, another individual. And early Iron Man models were capable of destroying a mountain the size of Manhattan, which gets to 179.8 megatons to 1 gigaton of TNT.
All right.
And I will say, Mayday would be downscaling this. It's stated that, not really stated, but it's a lot like implied that she's weaker than Peter Parker, but she literally fights and matches even the prime version of Peter Parker. There's like a time travel thing where she goes back in the past and meets her father and like keeps up with him in combat and beats him up, you know?
Okay.
So I would say towards that kind of megatons to gigatons range.
All right. I guess I don't know if this was clarified before. Are we sticking with manga canon for Jolyne?
Yeah, we're sticking. Well, wait, manga can? I mean, we're just manga and anime. Just do that.
Yeah, manga and anime.
Yeah,
We're
like,
probably not bringing in like Eyes of Heaven.
yeah, like we're not doing that because
I was just wondering, like, are there AP
'Cause-
feats in the anime that are better than what's in the manga? I don't remember.
the only one, like, we don't have to worry about that because like the only one like I can think of, I'm pretty sure it's just like the part 1 Dio thing where he does the eye laser thing that wasn't even in the like manga. But the anime thing for what I'm about to bring up for Jolyne's fine because like it literally happened in the manga, and also like anime gives a time frame for this feat to happen in the first place. Like,
okay.
I know, okay, like second guess, but yeah, that's
So what's Jolyne bringing for power?
I'm just gonna get straight to the point. Like, so I guess this is currently the best strength feat. So I'm not even okay. So listen. So for strength, right? Jolyne used Stone Free to punch small meteors, which is currently calculated at like 1 like kiloton of TNT or small town level. That is all I'm actually gonna need, guy. You know, so.
That is very slightly above, but overall relative to a lot of Mayday's feats. Not the Iron Man scaling, but
well, yeah, because the Iron Man scaling does seem like a pretty high end there. But I am saying, listen, I'm fine with this end. Yeah, for Joel, just 1 kiloton.
I mean, I think it's personally fine to use because it's early armors that like
early armor. Oh yeah.
No, I'm not saying that she scales to full Iron Man armors.
Okay.
No, that would be horribly ridiculous.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is,
and this Iron Man armor fought the Silver Surfer, which means...
no. These really early models that like the most blatant one is that Captain Hydra being able to use his shield to block like a blast from Iron Man, even though like I'm pretty sure it was Miles shattered that shield, you know?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's
So and also was able to fight like Iron Man, like Arnold Stark, who's like a kind of version of Iron Man with those armors, which gives that kind of small island level of strength.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That is better than town level
Oh yeah,
by a little bit.
yeah. By a little bit. Just
Just by a casual like billions of times, or whatever it is.
casual billions of thousands, maybe. But yeah, like I think we went over the strength section. What about speed? I think Saul could start this one.
So Mayday is crazy with her reactions because I thought she was just going to get normal Spider-Man stuff, and I'll kind of go through this. So if we're just kind of covering base Spider-Man speed stuff, characters like Moon Knight have been able to react to lasers, which get 44% the speed of light. Cyclops have been able to like redirect his laser beam within a nanosecond, which gets to 33 times the speed of light. And then Spider-Man 2099 can like catch a Mjolnir moving at Mark 2000. I think I sent these to Sherm, but if I didn't, I would be very surprised. But can you bring up Dodge Nova?
Dodge Nova.
So there are multiple, there's like 4 to 5 different examples of Mayday being able to outreact Herald characters.
So not to like derail this, but when you said Dodge Nova, I just heard it like it was like a. That's what it's like to drive the new Dodge Nova.
Oh my god! You should get
Like
caught.
he literally flings himself towards her at like his travel speed, and she manages to dodge over the way. And can you bring up? I think this is one of my favorite ones that I've named. Quite literally flipped over him. You can never guess what she's about to do to Nova. Also, she's in like her tacky suit, but yeah, she just flips over Nova as she's like flying towards her. And you might be thinking, well, Saul, this is a horrible outlier. No, unfortunately not. In her first appearance, she's reacting to both the Thing and Juggernaut. And later on, she goes on to fight Seth. I think that's his name. I might be getting it. You talked about it earlier, Sherm, so...
The Asgardian.
Yeah, the Asgardian guy. Yeah.
The
I
guy
think I'm
that
saying
like
his name
fights
right.
Odin.
Yeah. So, like, and this also logically, like, narratively makes sense with her spider sense being better than Peter's, you know?
So you're saying
And-
she's like potentially the fastest spider person?
I would argue yes, because that's her whole thing about the spider sense stuff. And if we want to get into, like specific calcs and stuff, Nova and characters like him can cross the galaxy in seconds, which can get to trillions to billions times the speed of light. Juggernaut can keep up with people who like have like galaxy crossing arguments like the Hulk. And the Thing as well, but the Thing usually gets jobbed by Hulk, so I won't bring him up. And then Seth is just an Asgardian god who can fight people like Loki, who's able to like astral project from Asgard to Earth, which again is another billions of times the speed of light feat.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and like if this wasn't consistent, I wouldn't be bringing it up, you know.
Well, Moloch's on your side, Saul, apparently. So yeah.
Thank you, Moloch.
You've convinced him.
And also, like, she's able to fight alongside people like Franklin Richards, who has his own FTL and MFTL feats against like a not the Super Skrull, but like a Super Skrull, you know. So I genuinely think this is quite consistent for Mayday, especially with the whole narrative that her spider sense is better than Peter's, you know. She is insane.
You've presented the evidence, and I guess that's what it is.
I kind of have a few questions regarding that.
Hit it.
So like from like the
Never
evidence
mind,
shown
Moloch's retracting his support of you. He doesn't believe
From-
you anymore.
from the like it seems like these, for example, when she went up against Nova, I would like to see more context to that, because at least from what I saw, like he was like actually questioning like what is like kind of going on, and they're like, hey, like get out of the way, like as he's casually moving through like a city. I don't think he's moving at like his fastest speed or something.
Okay,
like
can
that,
you
like,
can you
all
bring
times.
up can you bring up dodge and attack from the thing?
Oh, okay.
This is a more blatant example.
Okay, so let's see here.
Basically, this is like issue 2, Mayday.
That's fine. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like, why would the thing like be like attacking like Mayday?
Because he believes she's an imposter.
Well, it's fine to like he believes like Mayday's like an imposter, but like, why would he be attacking her like full strength and speed at like a spider imposter, for example? Like, I just don't like why.
I mean, but I've already proved multiple examples of these characters being able to do this character being able to dodge these.
Like when, for example, yeah, I can see like she's dodging it. I was just like wondering. So like when, for example, when Nova travels like across like the universe, right? That's fine, right? He travels across the universe a second, but he's not doing that in like Manhattan. It seems like he's like, oh, it's like move out of the way, right? Like I was wondering like more of the context of like why would these characters need to operate at like their peak physical condition against Mayday? Like that's my question. Yeah.
I mean,
for the speeds and strength.
That does feel like a pretty why would they be operating on a lesser level then? I feel like we're getting in very pedantic
because like if, for example, like if Nova is flying across like New York, like we could have like killed somebody, right? Yeah, like if he's moving at such like a high speed without like seeing, or like for example, like the thing, if he's fighting a spider imposter and the thing is like Hulk, at least, they're generally way stronger than, let's say, these spider people, they would just kill him in one punch, right? Like, I was just...
Has Mayday ever fought someone that's, like, a really bad guy who would have no reason to be holding back when trying to kill someone?
Yeah,
like
Seth.
But
big bad Asgardian man.
We can look at Seth. Like, let's see that.
I would have to grab those.
If we want, you can, like, maybe go grab them while Jobber is talking about Jolyne's speed scaling.
I also do want to bring up as well, she in one of her like later fights, not later fights, but she like Johnny Storm, Human Torch, she gets sent back to the past, and and Human Torch is like, oh, you're an imposter, blah 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 blah, and he's literally chasing her at his speed. Yeah, this is kind of a different intelligence thing that I was going to bring up later. But she's like reacting to him when she's doing this. Obviously not here because she's like done a trap, you know. But I also want to bring up with the Nova example again. Sherm, I'm literally about to send you a scan.
Okay.
Can I read more questions? Like I kind of like questions scan. Like so, so Mayday is essentially, she's backed into a corner, and the Johnny, who's cocky, of course, and it's clearly he's not taking this fight that seriously. He says, it's obvious that you're like beginning to tire. Don't feel bad. You were outmatched from the start. Like, so I don't think he was operating at his like at anything that you consider like a peak speed or anything like that, especially for Johnny characters who's pretty cocky. And that's she threw rope on him, you know? Like
at this level, it does feel like it's getting super pedantic with these ideas, especially with her. Like, there's multiple examples of these. If you can put the Nova ones on screen.
The ones I already put up, or the new one?
The new ones. The new ones.
Hang on, it's not loading for me.
That's fine.
That's not. I must have done something wrong. So sorry.
Like how Johnny says, I could easily break through that stupid cable. Yeah, Mayday, go! Yeah, they just threw this is cement. I swear. Just Johnny, man, I swear. Yeah, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
I'm saving them in Jolyne's folder.
Well.
My bad. My organization has worked against me. I apologize. So this is fighting Nova?
Yeah. This is another this is the continuation. And she literally states that Nova is suddenly trying to corkscrew her backward. And she literally like bounces off of that. And if you want to send the next panel. Yeah, so obviously his travel speed is greater than hers, obviously, you know? And she's able to react to this building coming towards them quicker than he's able to, which is a pretty clear reaction feat, you know? I also sent more context for the Johnny Storm fight, the fight as well, where she directly creates a web shield before he can get to her, you know? And he literally thinks that she's an imposter, you know?
Who's this?
That was Nova.
Okay.
She's able to blatantly react to something mostly because of her sense, but like I've said, her sense is based on instinct and all that before he can react to something, which I think is very blatant, you know? And she creates this web shield before he can charge and blast her.
Okay. I mean, I mainly already put up at least my doubts about this type of at least speed scaling and strength scaling for Mayday Parker essentially. So I feel like I'd be kind of just repeating myself in that aspect. So I think that's pretty much all could cover here for at least this speed, and it depends on whether y'all buy it or not. But yeah, I'm ready to cover my speed ends for good old Jolyne.
I can buy nothing because I'm broke.
Dang.
Unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. All right. But Sherman, am I ready to start at least my speed scale of Jolyne?
I think so, yeah. Do you have any other stuff you want to add, Saul? Or are you good for the time being?
I can wait for the time being.
Alright. So what speed stuff would you like me to bring up?
Okay, so for speed, everyone in Part 6 should slightly downscale from Star Platinum in terms of speed. Star Platinum consistently being stated to be the strongest and fastest stand from Parts 3 to 6. Whitesnake, to bring up this, I think you already seen in the DMs, right? But Whitesnake was able to steal Jotaro's disc before Jotaro could basically fully turn on and do something, right? And Anasui has the speed to save Jotaro multiple times from Maiden Evan Pucci, who was consistently blitzing Jotaro and Star Platinum. Jolyne has fought relative to just, let's say, a base Pucci, regular Pucci in speed. And that same Pucci is seemingly faster than Anasui. Now, tying back to Star Platinum in speed should scale above Silver Chariot in speed, who was able to cut Hangman, a stand that can move at the speed of light. This speed feat has consistently been calced 6 times, to be specific, right? Over 1,000 times massively faster than Light Plus. In addition to the feat officially being 25,000 massive times massively faster than Light Plus, as accepted on Versus Battle Wiki, essentially. So for speed, Jolyne and Stormfree should be in the for reaction combat. They should be in the 25,000 times massively faster than Light Plus area. That's pretty much it.
25K is not bad.
Yeah, that's 6 calcs.
I mean, I feel like I personally have a lot of issues with this scaling.
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah.
Would the sun feet get faster or
no? It's specifically Silver Chariot cutting Hangman. For the last time, the reason why that feat is so impressive is because Hangman, he was centimeters away from this coin, and Silver Chariot, from Silver Chariot and Punch perspective, Hangman was just either in slow motion or frozen, and then Silver Chariot performed a complete downward slash, full arc to slash a Hangman in that instant, right? So that's what gets that feat so high, and it's really consistently once again, you have 6 calcs, putting it at over 1,000, and technically 7 if you count the 25. But also that 25,000 times that's Light Plus is just accepted on Verse Battle Wiki, and we know kind of stingy looking at the calcs, but it's a pretty consistent calced feat. So that's what I'd say with that, though. Yeah.
All right, because I was just I see a lot of people using the Sun fight as the good speed calc more than the Hanged Man fight, and so
Because like the Sun one, I'm pretty sure I'd be crazy if I get this from memory. I'll look at this up too at the same time. I'm pretty sure that gets like maybe 76 times faster than Light Plus. I want to see if I'm right about that.
One small issue I have with this calculation, and that's the specifics of that fight, because Hangman specifically had to go from 1 point on the coin, right, to what was the it was one eyeball or something. It was like one. It was a direct line, so like no matter what happened, he was going to be in there. It's like in the animation it looks kind of impressive, but like realistically, Silver could have also just held his knife there.
Well, the problem is Silver Cherry didn't just hold its knife there. You can Saul. I keep calling Shrimp Saul. Oh my God, there's two Sauls here. Anyways,
I'm flattered.
So like if you put up like I think I'll just put a dot to it. So bring up the image so everyone can see it. Like right here, just that image of Silver Chariot and like the hangman thing. So as you can see, Silver Chariot is not even there to like. I get what you're all getting at, right? Like, oh, he just moves in a straight line. Now that the logic will only work if Silver Chariot was just literally already there, right? Just having his sword out and just waiting, right? As like before Polnareff kicked the dust or sand into the guy's eye. But no, like Polnareff, he literally said now, and then his stare came out and did the action, right? To cut down. It would require Polnareff, in order for Polnareff to even say now in this moment, it required like faster than light speeds to do this. Same with Silver Chariot, right? So like yes, like they do have the speed like for this feat. It's not like a what's that? It's like it's not pre-call. I forgot what it was called, but it was essentially like doing like being prepared for something like before the object even came to you, not like doing it in the moment. Like we can clearly see this is literally happening in the moment. Like so, this is definitely a speed feat. Like no like way really around it.
Okay. So we got some interesting scaling for both of them. I have thoughts.
Okay.
I think what I'm hearing both have reasons to be valid, but I don't want to make any hard verdicts yet. We're only like maybe like 70% of the way through this. The speed is interesting. Do either of y'all want to bring up anything else in regards to speed?
Nah, I think I've made my points.
Okay. So we've done strength, we've done speed.
The next is like battle IQ and skill.
Is everyone ready to just kind of move on to IQ and experience and all that?
Yeah, I'm ready to at least.
Okay. Wait, what's Jolyne got going on?
Whew. All right. So, in terms of battle IQ and skill, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Jolyne is a genius. And no, I'm not glazing. Let me explain why. So, Jolyne figured out Foo Fighters wasn't just a stand, but an actual living organism. And she instantly deduced, like, Foo Fighters, like, entire, like, origin and purpose, like, in that moment. Like, she was Sherlock Holmes. She outsmarted Foo Fighters right as the organism was about to kill her by moving what, like, Foo Fighters was sworn to protect somewhere else, forcing Foo Fighters into a field where it would get absorbed, essentially because Foo Fighters is made of liquid. Jolyne used a boot with bricks in it to take the brunt of a small meteor and send it towards the stand user, who, while they can control the meteors, right, and dissipate them, like, or make them disappear before they reach them, it didn't matter, as the boot on fire coming towards the stand user still had the same force as the meteor, with or without the meteor carrying it, right? And oh man, I gotta bring up this other like intelligence because this was like honestly bonkers. Now, Jolyne was up against a stand user that like erases her memories, right? Allowing like her only a limited number of memories, right? She can only remember, let's say, 4 things at a time, and she remembers another thing. Let's say the first memory is gone, and you see what I'm going at with, right? Now, Jolyne, to counter this, She writes step-by-step instructions onto her hands and weaves her stand into her hand that write out an instruction on like what to do to fight back, all within the limit of what she can remember. Now, keep that in mind, the limit of what you can remember. So she can remember, let's say, 4 things at a time. The enemy stand user shoots, let's say, 6 bullets. That's more bullets than Jolyne can remember. So Jolyne counters this by looking at a reflection in like a puddle of water, as seeing, because her, and this works because as seeing a reflection counts as one memory. So she could just see all the bullets as one memory. It's insane. Even more insane, Jolyne turns her stand into binary code to generate an image of like this stand user, so Jolyne can know what the stand user looks like to beat them up. Like, this is insane. Like, this is what she can do. And listen, oh my god, I'm about to crash out at this final like Jolyne intelligence feat. Okay, I think it's the one, like, it's top 5 like intelligence feats in JoJo, genuinely. Jolyne, okay, she's up against a stand that can turn like anything inside out with a touch via manipulating gravity, which is Simu. Jolyne got punched in the chest, and everyone thought she died because her whole body's basically her chest and everything's getting inverted, right? How could she survive this? But later she showed up alive and kicking, right? Revealing that she turned her chest into a Mobius strip, something that has no concept of inside or out, a band of infinity to counter the gravity inversion hacks applied to her body. Like the gravity, like the hacks of that ability, right, via gravity that's trying to invert her, is literally being infinitely cycled through this Mobius strip she created on her body. And I think Pooch's reaction in the anime was funny as fuck in the dub, because he's like, as soon as he saw this, he was like, "Mother of God!" Like, this is insane. That line's insane when a priest is saying it. Like, he's like, "What?" Yeah, Jolyne is actually a genius when it comes to combat and improvising in these fight scenarios. She's more of a like street smarts genius in terms of a fight. Like that is like some crazy shit she could do. I hope y'all enjoyed that. That's all I got. That's all I got for Jolyne.
Okay. Saul, what do you think Mayday's bringing to the table, intelligence and experience-wise?
I don't really have a lot to talk about, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Is she experienced at all?
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, in terms of experience and stuff, again, she's fighting against people who have fought against like Peter Parker and stuff. And, Spider-Man, again, he's really intelligent and stuff, fought against Carnage, blah, blah, blah. She's been trained by multiple people, like Peter Parker himself, Daredevil, some of the members of the Fantastic Five. And she's gone up against multiple different villains and has adapted to them really quickly,
Yeah, that's true.
Like going up against Mysterio and figuring out his illusions basically from one panel to the next one. She's been put through like rigorous training by her father, where she's doing like 8 hours every single day of this kind of Spider-Verse training type thing. I already showed you the panel where she uses like the environment around her to outsmart Johnny. She was able to she was fighting not Captain America himself, but one of like the Descendants, punch the shield, and she was like, I wonder what happens if I just unsticks the shield, and takes it away from him. She has been able to fight against like just a multitude of individuals. The Dead Spot one is a really good example of how she does it, I was thinking I did want to backtrack for a minute. Because I did find new speed stuff that I think is going to be important.
Okay.
So, Chim, I'm going to have to send these to you right now.
Roger.
So, if you just put them up as and when I send to you. We talked about, why would these characters be using their maximum potential, you know? Why would they be traveling these speeds to fight against Mayday? And I can kind of understand that point to a certain perspective. But you see this intergalactic space laser thing? This is a character called Apox, who is a Skrull. I kind of talked about him earlier, but he wields the power cosmic. And he traveled from like outer space. We don't really know from how far, but at least past like several planets to get to Earth in a few moments. And during his like flight, Nova intercepted and hit him, and he kind of got bounced off because obviously Apoc is an incredibly powerful individual, right? Mayday's spider sense was able to sense and react to this individual, and she's been able to like fight against him and dodge him, you know. And again, this is a very impressive individual who has the fucking power cosmic, you know. So again, this is just an example of an individual who, again, would have no moral quandaries and is quite literally trying to do as much shit as he can in battle to defeat her, you know?
Yeah. This is kind of the frustrating part about being an impartial jury, because I've read this story and I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't want to necessarily corroborate with you, you know? But I do know, like, this definitely, I remember this, yeah.
So yeah, she's able to like react to his attacks and stuff. And like this just kind of gives the idea of that herald scaling that I talked about, you know? Because even with it, it's not even herald scaling at that point, because it's literally just his own feat, you know? And the last thing I just think it's very important to get the speed stuff down, so I want to get it correct, you know?
Okay.
Because I know a lot of people will be coming in here and be like, oh, but I want to, you know, in like one of their final conflicts between Apoc and Mayday, she's reacting instinctually, charging forward without hesitation. And she's like dancing around him at that point, you know? She's so fast, this guy can't even land a single hit on her. And he's trying to like destroy the world at that point, you know?
Yeah.
And also, there's also the thing of her being able to like keep up and obviously fight against him, and he's a very powerful guy who can take on the Thing and Franklin, you know?
Okay.
He also has a very funny feat where he gets two big rocks slammed between him like a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not important, but I think it's just really funny, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, bump, you're a sandwich now. But I really wanted to talk about that because of the whole, you know, speed thing.
Oh,
like,
shit.
yes, it's good to bring up those arguments, but this is a guy who wants every motherfucker slimed, you know?
Sorry for the delay. I didn't see the ping notification.
Yeah, no worries. This is a guy who wants every single individual dead. Like, the surrounding area is fucked. But look, she's literally dodging this motherfucker.
That does feel pretty blatant.
This is like as blatant as you're going to get with her feats. And like, this is just a guy who exists within this story who is traveling interstellar distances, which again would get like thousands of times the speed of light just through interstellar travel feats, you know? Even if you take the low end of like maybe from like the start of our solar system to Earth, that's still way faster than the Silver Chariot feats. As for intelligence and experience, again, she's been trained by every motherfucker on the block. Peter Parker, Dark Devil, Kane, there's someone I'm forgetting. A version of like, not the Green Goblin, but like the Green Goblin's grandson, you know? She's been taught to fight while blind. She's like done these for like 8 hours a day. And again, she has like been able to fight against Peter's mostly his entire rogues gallery. She's adapted against people like Mysterio who can conjure up these illusions, and she just breaks through them like that. She's been able to fight against, like, again, teleporters, people who can turn invisible. Carnage, who is a very powerful symbiote with tons of experience and his own battle intelligence. She was also taught all the chemistry knowledge by Peter, so she's incredibly intelligent in her own right. And she's been doing this a lot longer than Jolyne, because I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, Jobber, but how long does Part 6 take place over?
Like, Part 6 takes place in like less than a month, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, Mayday has at least been active as Spider-Woman as like for like at least a year, you know?
A year is longer than a month.
Like, yes. Jolyne has very impressive intelligence feats, but stuff like the Mobius strip only applies to a very specific certain instance with the powers of Sea Moon, you know? She has had...
I think you said right, but if this question was me, I think the answer that, like, well, yes, it does apply to like only Sea Moon. The fact that she even thought of this in the first place is the feat itself right there. Yes, the ability specific to counter. That's fine. But the way she even thought about it and brought this into existence, that's the intelligence feat right there. Even if it's specific to that one ability, if we all had this ability to like stone free, let's say we have bodies of strings, right? Like, I don't think any of us in this call like would even come up with that idea to just turn your body into like a Mobius strip to counter like gravity manipulation, like inverting or something like that, like to basically infinitely cycle the gravity out, right? Like that's a very specific, like really good intelligence feat. And I'll admit, like I say 1/4 of it is to that ability, but I still feel, or at least I think that most of that feat goes to Jolyne's intelligence for coming up with something as brilliant as that.
I mean, I agree, but what I'm trying to say is that Mayday has a lot more experience on the battlefield fighting these different individuals and stuff. Like, again, she's fighting people. You also have to, like, remember she's fighting individuals who have, like fought her father for all this time, right? You have to remember that this is an alternative universe where Spider-Man is capable of fighting people like Hobgoblin and Tombstone and these very skilled fighters. And Peter's a skilled fighter in his own right. And she's able to beat like a majority of these people 99% of the time in her fights, you know?
That's fine. Yeah, like, I mean, you're going over her experience and skill. I think those are like very impressive.
And like I talked a lot about her, like the spider sense kind of translates to intelligence a lot of the time, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't know about the spider sense translating to intelligence when before it just like when you were describing the spider sense's abilities for Mayday, it was just giving her. It wasn't her like figuring things out or anything. It was just giving her answers essentially, like, oh, that cop's corrupt, right? Like she didn't have to think about it. Her spider sense.
Well, no, it doesn't. It just gives her a warning of something bad is going on. She has to logically think about what's gonna happen next, you know?
Well, I mean, she does have to think about what's gonna happen next. I mean, that's fair. I'm not sure what situation like where like she had to like super big brain it, right? I've seen like what was it you presenting that with her spider sense, it can tell when someone's lying, right? Like, so like, oh, the spider sense just told her. She didn't figure it out. She was told, oh, that person's lying, right? She didn't figure it out herself. Like, what feats would you like intelligence feats would you present like of her like figuring something out on her own that like is decently intelligent in your opinion?
There's obviously her finding out about her knowing about all of the web and stuff. She also figured out a lot through like a couple of context clues. She helped figure out about there's this whole thing where she might or might not be a clone, how she got kind of switched from Norman Osborn at birth, you know?
What the hell?
Norman Osborn was on demon time apparently. Even in death, this motherfucker can't let Peter Parker rest.
Damn.
In her first literal fight, right? And I mean her first fight. So this is her first ever appearance. Can you bring up Tricked Green Goblin? So Green Goblin, this version of Green Goblin has like electrical shock powers, right? Don't ask me why. I couldn't tell you. And she webs up a pumpkin bomb in his hand, and he's like, "Oh, I can free myself as long before the delayed fuse ignites." And she's like, "Yada yada yada, you're a loser, mate. You can't blow off my weapon without your electrical shock, without detonating the bomb." And Norman does it. He from what it's like, he does it and then realizes what's going on, you know. And this is like, this is Green Goblin, you know. This guy's no slouch when it comes to combat intelligence. This is also just a really funny panel of Norman being like,
Yeah,
no.
he just gets cooked.
I like the implication that he has the reaction speed to say no mid-explosion, but he doesn't have the reaction speed to, like, throw it away.
Yeah, no, that is a really, hang on.
It kind of makes him look dumb. Like,
It's reminding me of that Ninja Turtles thing. My precious power
My only
gone forever.
My only explanation I can think of is that it is actually exploding in this panel, so he can't drop it or throw it anymore. But he can still react to it mid-explosion. Which is not inconsistent with the speed of these comic book characters.
That is true.
Like,
And also, like, in terms of, like, again, combat experience, she fought her father. It was a weird time travel thing. I don't get why that happened. And she's been able to outsmart Hobgoblin, who again had his own very crazy range of feats. Like, maybe she doesn't have the exact combat, like super combat intelligence, you know?
okay, but she's
That
decently
Jolyne
intelligent.
has. But she's fought definitely a wider variety of opponents and has been doing this a lot longer and is way more formally trained with her abilities.
In terms of wide variety of opponents, I think so. In my opinion, I'd probably say that they're a bit equal with the variety of opponents they face. I mean, there's obviously JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like in Part 6, they fought a lot of bizarre stand users. Like for example, like Bohemian Rhapsody can just like turn anything fiction and real, essentially. And Spider-Man actually showed up. My God, like Spider-Man's so relevant. He's in Part 6. Like I can't believe this.
But
Also,
like with the Bohemian Rhapsody thing, Jolyne wasn't the person to figure it out. That was Weather Report.
Oh no, I was saying they were figuring out. I'm just saying like the opponents they've dealt with. I mean, like in terms of like what they fought, because like then when Weather Report and Anisu were fighting Bohemian Rhapsody, like this ability was affecting the entire planet, and like Anisu said like, yo, Jolene's dealing with this, but we never get to see Jolyne, what Jolyne and Hermes were up to, right? But we also see like, you know, them fight like, or have to deal with like heavy weather, right? Where it just basically there's subliminal messaging of let's say the light rays from the sun, right? So heavy weather destroys the ozone layer and then controls the light rays from the sun, so we perceive them as snails, and it just turns them all into snails, and they have to maneuver around this ability. There was also like, let's say, I think his name was but basically this guy, he is able to like recreate like past events, right, that people have to go and face, right? And they've had to go and deal with, let's say, another stand user. Let's say, for example, Maidenhead Poochie, like the most catastrophic one. They have to deal with a guy that was trying to reset the universe. He was speeding up time to infinity, right? And in the universe, and they have to fight that opponent, right? I feel like both Jolyne and Mayday have fought like in terms of variety of opponents, I feel like they fought like an equal variety of opponents. Like to like the most like high end stuff they fought is like dangerous to the entire universe or even multiverse. Right? If Poochie was let free, you know. I
also need to bring this up now because I forgot a very, very important factor for this debate that I just remembered right now. One of Jolene's suits, not Jolyne, one of Mayday's suits is blatantly a symbiote.
You said one of, like, is this her standard suit?
It's one that she's had for like at least a consistently big amount of her run, you know?
Like, it's so, is it like can I get more context with this symbiote suit? Like, more context?
She just like starts a lot of like wearing it and stuff around the battles. Like her final fight against Hobgoblin in her initial run is with the suit. Also, by the way, she's a complete menace in the suit because she has Hobgoblin by the neck and she's like, I'm gonna crush his windpipe.
I think so. You know, I think I see what's going on here with the black suit. I think so. I've read some Spider-Man like comics, right? Whenever, let's say, for example, like I think I see a dynamic going on here where Mayday, at least from my viewpoint, she consistently wears her normal like suit. Let's say seeing your profile picture or your profile picture for this stream or
Yeah,
in
she
the stream
has a
thumbnail,
normal
right? But that's her main suit she wears like pretty much consistently all the time. But whenever she dons like the black suit, like whenever Peter dons the black suit, let's say it's not even a symbiote, it's just for him to just like essentially like he's pissed. Okay,
This one is
And it's
blatantly
not-
referred to as a symbiote, and
Yeah,
this
that's
one, this one
yeah.
has shown symbiote powers.
Yeah, I just don't think that's like at least a consistent thing for her character. It seems like she would only do this, put the suit on like when she wants to get like business done, like she wants to like actively.
And why
like,
wouldn't she want to get business done in a death battle, Jobber?
well, that would like mean that she has prior knowledge of Jolyne to get the business done instead of like in the first place, right? Because like she's not wearing this when she's like swinging around like Manhattan.
I mean, she does wear it consistently. That's what I'm saying. She does wear it consistently for a bunch of issues.
Like the context reason, like from what you got, like for Goblin, it seems like she's in a state of mind where she's just ready to just like beat someone down badly. Like she's like she's, but you said she had him by the throat, right? It's like similar to like how Peter, like where he dons like the black suit, like for example, I think he did one with Deadpool. I think he had to go out with Deadpool or whatever, and he like Peter donned the black suit because I think it was the time he had this company, right? And he noticed like Deadpool noticed like some shady stuff's going on without Peter noticing. It's like, oh, so Spider-Man was like, yeah, we're gonna clear this up, bro. I'm angry right now, right? Or when Kingpin went after like Aunt May and like she was in the hospital, like Peter was like, nah, bro, I'm not wearing my regular suit. I'm wearing like my black suit, right? We're gonna get shit done, right? That's kind of feel like the energy.
Yeah, but that's two completely different characters. When Mayday dons the suit, like, yeah, she's donned it against Hobgoblin, but she's donned it against basic people like Lady Octopus, and she's trained with the suit on with Black Tarantula, not Black Tarantula, but Elektra, who was hired by Black Tarantula. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This was a consistent suit she was wearing for multiple issues at a time. And she's like going out on basic recon missions. It's not something that she just puts on like Peter when she wants to like vent some anger and stuff. This is a primary suit she uses for a long time in her run. Literally like I want to say like a 40-issue gap, which is pretty big considering it's 100 issues of this comic.
So why did she stop wearing this suit?
Give it a minute, I will grab thingy.
So I'm very interested in this debate so far.
Yeah, like this is.
There's not much. I haven't been able to say much just because y'all have been killing it. I forget that JoJo's is JoJo sometimes.
Yeah. JoJo's be JoJo. JoJo.
I do just as a side. I do like. I think this might be the best symbiote versus Stan fight if the symbiote's allowed.
Yeah. She just like, Mayday just goes to like Jolyne. Jolyne's like, no, please. And she's like, yo, like, forgive me. And then she's like, you want to forgive this? Get religion. And then like just Mayday just like kicks her head off or something.
She's gonna bully Maguire, Jolyne.
Yo, bully Mayday? Let's get it.
Bully Mayday.
Oh yeah, from the context, she stops donning the suit. She doesn't lose it. She stops donning it because Mary Jane's like, guys, I want you gotta stop. She can't take the stress. Like, it isn't fair to her, isn't fair to their like brother, because Peter was also involved in this story. That's why she doesn't lose the symbiote.
Well, okay, so like then from what you've explained, this is the symbiote's like going to be not standard anymore because Mayday's not going to be wearing it out of like the duty that like what was it, Peter and Mary Jane, like they just said like, yo, like stop wearing the suit. They just told her to stop doing it. She stopped. She stopped doing it, right? So like,
if there's contention, we could ask the pitcher.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I could be wrong about this. It's been a while since I've read the run, but I think it like concludes because I do remember the symbiote suit, and if I'm not mistaken, her using it concludes with like the symbiote sacrificing itself for her.
Someone in the comments is corroborating that.
Yeah, so I would say it's probably non-standard.
But the suit count as like its own like separate character, kind of much like Venom would.
I don't think it ever had a Venom mode. I think it's always only ever been.
You're saying symbiote. I'm just saying making that connection. This is more of just a
Yeah,
question. of just
I think the suit was kind of its own thing that teamed up with Mayday for a while. I personally wouldn't include it, but yeah, I personally I don't think Mayday should necessarily get the symbiote suit, as it's not what she uses most of the time. It's not really her normal kit.
Jobber.
Huh?
If the suit is included, do you think Jolyne would have a way to deal with it at all?
If the suit is included, would Jolyne have a way to deal with it?
Seeing as it's a symbiote and she's a JoJo character.
Would she have like a way to deal with the suit? Well, I think that Jolyne, I've already established that like she's a genius and proven it. So I think what she would do to try to circumvent this symbiote is that we all know symbiotes like have, weaknesses to like really loud like noises essentially. And I think Jolyne would have the intelligence to like pick up and exploit that essentially throughout ever means, like where she's like, for example, remember like Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, where he just like gets those like metal metal pipes or whatever, steel metal bars, and just like hits them. It creates like a really loud noise, right? And like the symbiote kind of just like freaks out or something like that. Or I'm pretty sure symbiotes freak out like around fire, like as well. I'm going off of what I remember. This like a basic symbiote weaknesses.
Yeah,
right?
it's typically sound and fire.
Yeah, so like those two things, like definitely, like I think Jolyne would be able to like she would experiment and she would try like methods to exploit this. She's I think something similar to like a symbiote that she went up against that she was like hyper like informational on or just like deductive on is Foo Fighters, right? Foo Fighters is like in a way a symbiote of like just like it's an organism of plankton stand shit, bro. Like I don't know, but Jolyne figured that shit out like instantly. She's like, oh, okay, I get what's going on here. That's not we're not going up against a stand user. We're going up against like a stand that's like it's a living organism, right? And she is able to fight while fighting on the fly, like come up with like let's say a strategy in order to like or just test multiple things out to like beat Foo Fighters in that moment. And I think she would be able to replicate something similar against Mayday's symbiote suit. If it were included, which I personally don't think it should be, but if it were included, I think that's there's like two ways that Jolyne will 100% like find a way to deal with this, right, and get around it using her JoJo battle IQ, So
We seem to have lost Saul.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I think Saul's
complicated.
I think he disconnected by accident. Let me look here.
Maybe
Quick,
his
make like
power went out or
Albuquerque.
something.
Better call Saul.
Okay.
There go.
Better
Oh wait,
call
wait.
Saul.
I found
Saul.
I'm
I
sorry.
found a
But-
comic panel.
Also,
I'm gonna.
Sherm. What's our?
Sherm, I'm gonna DM you right now.
I'm getting DMs from 2 people.
Yeah. Yo, Sherm, like, remember earlier I basically tried to like predict. I think someone here asked me about like the symmetry deflecting light from the sun, right?
That was me.
Didn't
But
I
yeah.
say like? Wait, didn't I say like it like if I were to guess like it's 76 like times faster than light plus, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I'm not even joking. I pulled up like I pulled up the tour. I wonder if you 096 vlog. I just want to make sure. Yes, I was correct. I remember it from memory. Memory. I love it.
Nice.
Awesomeness. But yeah, like
And she's beat up.
yep.
Yeah. So I couldn't find the panel where the symbiote actually dies, but I did find a panel where she says the symbiote is dead, and I don't think it ever comes back. So I would say it's non-standard.
Okay. And she looks depressed too. Like the
Did she
symbiote.
lose an eye?
I think that might
I
just
don't
be a
Go
shadow.
ahead.
Yeah, it's just a dramatic effect.
That'd be like creepypasta level, like Michael Myers style eye loss.
Spider-Man.exe.
Spiderwoman.exe.
Yeah. I gotta read some. So what are these Mayday like Parker like comics called? I ordered some of these.
Saul
I think
had
it was a
a
spider
emergency, so he won't be
Canadian
able to
spider.
be coming back to us.
Oh dang.
Oh,
I know
Uh,
all of Mayday's arguments because I've been reading the scans, so I can kind of take over for Saul.
I guess we can just go to. We might as well just go to like
Final
conclusions. You
arguments.
can. Yeah, you should state like his final arguments.
Okay. So I'll just throw the poll up. So why don't you do final arguments first?
Okay. So I think this fight comes down to, like, I'm speaking towards everyone here and the viewers as well. This fight comes down to, from what we discussed so far, it comes down to speed and what you buy. Like, if you think, if you think that, Jolyne is thousands of times faster than Light Plus, but based on downscaling from Star Platinum, all right, okay. Or if you think Mayday is trillions of times vastly faster than Light Plus, like is like actually contextually accurate with her, like as a character in Marvel, like with her also like standing and fighting side by side with other Spider-Man like 616 Peter Parker, Miles Morales, etc., who scale to Mayday's physical speed that is used for her Spider Sense feats because she still needs the physical speed to perform these speeds, right? Even if her Spider Sense is faster than which she can physically react to, she still needs physical speed relative, right? But the point is, either way, depending, like both of these characters, Jolyne and Mayday, will blitz each other depending on which you buy more. And I do not buy Mayday being trillions of times massively faster than Light Plus. And so this leads on to my conclusion, which is I think Jolyne, she speed blitzes. Mayday would never be able to touch or land a hit on Jolyne. Even if she does, Jolyne will just morph any part of her body to make Mayday miss, or use a string to make Mayday miss. And Jolyne will sabotage Mayday's like web shooters by putting strings in them. Like if you like try to like Mayday try to swing around, like it really mess up her mobility and her attacks towards Jolyne with the web shooters. She'd never be able to hit Jolyne with webs in the first place, not just because of speed, but just because of the ability of like stone free with the strings. Jolyne using her strings, like she can make a three-dimensional trap or web, right, which locks down Mayday's mobility and eliminates any sneak attack option, right? And since Mayday will have the regular suit for this fight, and these spider like people's suits are made of fabric, Jolyne, with her big brain IQ and what she normally does in character, she would basically quickly unravel Mayday's suit and then durability negator by putting strings through her eardrums or her nose or her mouth, and then just mangle her body from like the inside out, like just like strings around the brain, like or strings to the heart, like like, and there's nothing Mayday can do about it because this is happening so much faster than like anything her and her Spider Senses like ever reacted to. Since like if once again, if you don't buy trillion times MCL plus, like Mayday Parker, she, well, at least from what's brought up here in this cast, she only has like, let's say, FTL reactions, right? She's going to be thousands of times like slower than Jolyne, to the point where Jolyne's just like, Jolyne would see Mayday as a statue, right? And like Mayday can't get away because Jolyne would be able to keep up with like wherever Mayday is like swinging to, because like Jolyne can also swing to other different places. And honestly, a lot of the hacks or whatever that abilities, bless you, that Mayday like can like pull off, it's just all countered by speed. Like, cool, you can like basically repel Jolyne if you want to, or like suspend her in midair. That's cool, but Jolene's just gonna speed blitz and do whatever she wants, right? Or just dodge, or simply just move out of the way, right? Like that's a simple. Like most of Mayday's options require her to like touch Jolyne, right? And Jolyne is not going to be touched, right, at all. And especially if like Stone Free gets in the way, then like just Mayday's hitting just an invisible like spirit, right, that she can't harm or anything like that, So it's a pretty rough situation for Mayday Parker. I think Jolyne just takes this W.
So first off, Ditto Exodia found the scan of the symbiote dying, so I'll just put that up there for the sake of the lore. which we have. It's a bit tough to read with how we do this, but it kind of looks like it sacrificed itself by containing a hobgoblin explosion. Regardless, it's interesting.
Something like that. It like driving off Hobgoblin as like sonic forces were destroying it.
Hmm. Okay. So Mayday Parker. I think she wins for a couple reasons, and this is actually fortunate for me because I was gonna vote for Mayday Parker anyway, so I think I have a good. Like, I'm actually being legit here with my reasonings. I do think if we're just talking Step 1, the stats, I think Mayday is going to be stronger no matter what you do. Like, the kiloton scaling for Jolyne is cool. I think if if Mayday has literally any amount of downscaling, she's going to surpass that. Like, if she is a fraction of the strength of an Iron Man armor, that is going to be way higher than anything a JoJo character would get to. And I think that is pretty consistent because we're scaling Mayday to these street tiers who, as a spider person, she should just be vastly above naturally. Especially because the human body in JoJo is not as durable as the stand, which Jolyne does have a counter to by being turned into string, but she's not like that all the time. She kind of has to react to turn her body into string. Going into speed, if I could just bring up the panel of Mayday's fight against the scroll guy. I think this is like very blatant. This is just very blatant. I'm faster than you right now scaling. And this character just has a direct feat that's either way better or, at bare minimum, as fast as the Silver Chariot feat. And if we bring any scaling into it at all, Mayday Parker should be way faster. Like, Mayday interacts with the Fantastic Four a lot, and the Fantastic Four are usually slower than Mayday Parker. Like, Human Torch can fly through space, the Thing sometimes brawls with heralds, like... We can even bring up some other scaling, like Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen and older G1 blogs had arguments for being thousands of times faster than light. I think Mayday being way faster is pretty consistent. And then we add on the spider sense on top of all that. She's gonna immediately know where Stone Free is. She's gonna immediately know to just like basically one-tap Jolyne by like kind of blitzing and knocking Jolyne out. I think you can argue she's stronger than Stone Free. She might just, like, punch through the stand to get to Jolyne. I think... Yeah, I think the spider sense is just, like, really OP, because it's gonna tell... Like, Jolyne's real smart, but I don't know how you can be smart when someone's way faster than you and also knows how to target your weakness, like, immediately. And I don't really think Mayday has a weakness that can be capitalized on by Jolyne. I think Mayday's just kind of got this in the bag. I think she's the fastest Spider-Man. I think she's faster than Peter. I rest my case. We'll go to the group shot. We'll start with, Dr. Fiction, what are you thinking?
It's been a bit of a back and forth this whole time. I came in here as a diehard JoJo fan, and I'm sorry, Jobber. I think I have to go with Mayday on this. I just think that looking at everything, Jolyne has some really great hacks that would be able to kill Mayday, but I just think that Mayday is just way too fast and would just be able to punch her head off before she could apply, like, shoving strings down her throat or something.
Okay.
So, that's
All right.
mine.
Got one vote for Mayday. Ditto Exodia, what are you thinking?
I mean, I think it's tricky. Um, I think Mayday has shown that she would be able to, with her spider sense, keep up with, if not exceed, Jolene's speed. And I think what tips it over the edge for me is the level of almost precognitive specificity that Mayday's spider sense provides. Because if it was just the vague danger sense, if it was just the normal spider sense, I could see Jolyne getting a W with some kind of trap that of like the strings undetected until it's too late working through the body. But I think with how specific Mayday spider sense can get, I'm gonna have to vote for her. So Mayday, yeah.
All right, Chase, what are you thinking?
I want it to be known that right now I was listening to the JoJo Part 6 soundtrack this entire time. The song is playing right now is Sorrow, by the way. I just want that to be known as this. Like, it is perfect timing.
It's a bass.
Thank you. So basically, monkey. Sorry. So this is really, I really love this matchup. I think this is really cool. I feel like an absolute traitor to how much I love JoJo's, but with everything I've seen in this debate so far, in terms of speed and strength, I feel like this has to go to Mayday. I would love to look into a lot of this a little bit more closely, because one thing you didn't bring up, and I would love to really hyper analyze, would be Jolyne fighting Poochie at the end during the whole universal reset thing, because that's kind of weird deal where time is going faster, but people aren't, and I think that'd be a weird way of looking at it, because I know Poochie, however, is moving. And I think it's that one's weird. I don't know how you would calculate how fast Poochie is moving, and I know Jolyne at least put up a fight, but she also lost that fight, so I gotta give it to Mayday.
But then Poochie lost to some dolphins, so is that your goat?
Poochie lost to air, so I mean
that's even worse.
I know, that's fine.
All right, with that, I will end the poll. CJ is not happy with us, unfortunately.
Who's CJ?
CJ is someone that
I'm not looking at the chat.
This dude is crashing out.
What?
He likes you though, Jobber. He thinks you're in the right, but everyone else here is wrong.
Well, hey, CJ, if it makes you feel any better,
Huh.
I literally wrote parody songs praising Jolyne. So you should go listen to those. And then subscribe to Jobber because he makes awesome JoJo videos. And also subscribe to all these other dudes because they're all awesome.
So with that, I will take
Jolyne
my
won.
first win.
I
Is
think
clearly
Jolyne is
a
super
win that's
cool.
well deserved by me. I did a lot of work for this.
Sherm was Saul this entire time. It's your spot. It's your spot.
I think
It's
we
your
can
spot.
celebrate my first win. I think this is a great moment.
Right, so you're buying us all pizza, right?
No, you guys got to buy me pizza. That's how it works. I've been in the dumps. I need some cheering up, man.
I have
but
a thing for mortgage. I'm not paying for pizza.
I think while this debate was a sweep, I don't think that takes away from the fact that it is genuinely really nuanced. I think that digging into the specificity for how fast Mayday is would be fascinating, and I think the way that powers interact are genuinely really cool. I think Jolene's intelligence versus Mayday's spider sense, if speed and AP are relative, would be a fascinating thing to figure out.
Oh yeah.
It's just a usual thing, like all versus battles. It does kind of come down to speed and strength at the end of the day, but yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think I had a good time. Ditto. We usually like to when we have the pitchers on, kind of give them a little spot to kind of talk about what they like the matchup if they'd like to.
I mean, yeah, I think this matchup was very well represented over the course of the debate. I think that, beyond the obvious connections of the string powers and all the fun ways that they interact, and being the daughters of iconic heroes, there's a lot to express with the themes of their stories. Like, Spider-Girl fights a lot of legacy villains, both legacy like herself and also just straight up Spider-Man villains coming back. And there's a lot of like themes of sort of redemption and the cycles of violence and how they intersect, and that also applies, I think, in a lot of ways to Jolyne's story and sort of the Joestar bloodlines curse, its war against Dio and his followers. And I think, like, the fight itself, you have these two characters who are both very, like, tricky, but also will just straight up scrap fist to fist. And I think they really gel in a lot of nice ways, and I just love this matchup. So thank you for giving me a chance to talk about it, and thank you for talking about it for 2 hours now.
Yeah, like, was it sure? I'm just letting you know. I just put that CJ guy in timeout. He was. I finally got to see like. Well, I was like, dang, he's. Yo,
He
CJ
probably feels real betrayed. He was like, I was repping you, Jobber.
Yeah, like let's just CJ, it's just chill. It's just a match.
Okay,
it's just fiction, man. Like
A calendar man's gonna make a thumbnail for this matchup. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Calendar Man. Oh yeah. You know. What about like
Calendar Man?
I love like the obscure Batman villains. Like I love Kite Man. Kite Man's my goat. So like,
wait,
I learned
actually,
about his story recently. It's actually pretty sad.
Yeah.
yo, like if you like those like obscure villains. Wait, to show Chase, like, have you ever heard of like? This is a funny matchup just in general. Listen to the name of this. It's the question from DC versus.
oh, dude, I love the question.
The answer versus the answer from Marvel.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I love that, and I think I'm just gonna throw out a what the track name for that should be. That should be Pop Quiz.
Yeah.
Pop quiz. No!
Yes.
That's super creative. I love it.
If any of you are good at making music, we got to make that happen. I love the question so much.
He's awesome.
Doesn't the answer just like win because he has like a reality warping thing?
I have no idea about the answer.
I have no
don't know what he
idea.
does.
We don't know who the
I
answer is.
do-
We just
I
want
do
him to
want
fight because
this-
of the names.
Yeah, it's
I
just
do-
hilarious. I don't know.
I want this to be known is that there was this one guy who made a whole bunch of it was like a whole series of memes based entirely around DC's The Question, and it was like a running gag of this guy making. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can find this. It was like a full-on story made entirely out of screenshots of The Question from Justice League Unlimited and other like comics, and it was hilarious. If I ever find it, it was amazing.
I mean, if you ever find it, definitely send it like to us. That'd be pretty
Yes.
funny to see. I think the only thing I've seen like parody question related is like I think it was a solid JJ like video where like Lex Luthor went up to question like just
I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Oh my god, I found it! Oh my god, I found it! I'm gonna send this one into the chat because this
Alright.
one is really funny.
You can DM it to me. I'll put it on screen.
It's a little pixelated.
So, just like real quick, going back to the Jolyne on Death Battle. I've seen a lot of people in the official Discord say they'd rather get Spider-Gwen versus Jolyne. I was wondering, Ditto, would you say that's like kind of similar and would be decent, or would you say that kind of like misses the point of what you like about the matchup?
I mean, it's decent, it works, but for the people who like that fight, I think that it's a fine fight, but just to me, it doesn't have the sauce that Jolyne versus Mayday has. I think Jolyne versus Mayday is just, a couple more connections greater.
Yeah.
And also, I want to see Mayday. We already got Spider-Gwen on Death Battle. I want to see Mayday. I want to talk about about the MC2. The MC2 is just such this weird little thing. It's a complete tangent from Spider-Girl from Mayday, but there's a character in the MC2 named Dark Devil, and what happened, what his origin story is is he is the son of Ben Reilly, and he gets possessed by Zarathos. But then the ghost of Matt Murdock shows up and like fights Zarathos for the control for the famously the devil versus the lawyer kind of thing. And Matt Murdock wins. He
I
beats
love that.
Zarathos. And
Damn.
now Dark Devil goes around as like this Ghost Rider Daredevil hybrid.
That
It's just-
is really
It's
cool.
so wacky.
I love that. I love that. Yeah,
So
I do think
Daredevil is definitely beating Batman. If he
probably.
can find Batman's soul.
I think I would agree based on this cast we've had, and we haven't had a cast on Spider-Gwen versus Jolyne, so maybe it's a bit unfair. But I do think the fact that it'd be an opportunity to explore like a whole new story where we've already kind of gotten Spider-Gwen in a previous episode, and there's like the parent connection and like the OP spider sense that Gwen doesn't really have. Like I feel like Jolyne is the perfect opponent for someone with such a good spider sense arsenal.
It's very unique.
See, I think I do think this is the one for me for both. I hope this happens someday. I think it's extremely cool.
I really love this fight.
I hope Death Battle doesn't
I love
just
this
completely
debate.
skip over part 6 to do a part 7 matchup.
I hope not either.
I wouldn't mind too much. Part 7
I mean,
is
if
the
they
best
do,
one.
it's most likely going to be Funny Valentine, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Listen, we've gotten to part 6. Next season is we've gotten part 5 with you or no. Next season,
I'm
part
not
6.
sure.
We
We have not
haven't
gotten part 2 yet.
True.
We haven't gotten
We haven't
part
gotten
four.
part 2.
We'll
We
loop
haven't
back
gotten
Or
part
around.
4.
Well, listen, it was
they've
part
only done
5.
the odd number season so far.
Here's how they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it to try to maintain as much relevancy as possible. So they did part 5 this year. I guess technically last year. So that means this year they're gonna do the part 6 with Jolyne versus Mayday, and then next season they'll do Valentine versus Armstrong, or Edward versus Johnny if they're based. And then the year after that, they'll do Toru versus 096. It's all gonna work out. And then they'll loop back around to part 2 with Cars versus Meritwem. That's the order. My
Yeah.
dad works at
What-
Death Battle.
Alright, so we're never getting part 4 then. Big sad.
We'll get part 4 after part 2. We'll loop back around to part 2 and then part 4 with Cars versus with Kira versus Adachi.
I got a question for you. This
Hear me
might.
out.
Yeah, what's up?
Yoshikage Kira versus Light Yagami.
Yeah, what? Yeah, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Yes,
What the hell?
they're both
Yeah.
Kira. They're both Kira.
Exact.
so,
That's the entire joke.
yeah.
You should do the fight, but it's not like an investigation fight. It's just them dropped in a room trying to kill each other and like just immediately dies.
Wait, no, Light doesn't die because like since he has like a pencil, like he's like John Wick, okay? Like he's gonna make it.
John Wick Kira.
I've always
Yeah.
liked the
But
idea.
but then he writes down the name of the guy that Kira impersonated, Kosaku
However, There's
Kawajiri,
one
I think.
important aspect of this that you're all forgetting, and that is Yoshikage Kira is a egotistical prick, and he's absolutely gonna be like, "Oh, but just like, oh, it is I, Yoshikage Kira," because that's the whole thing that that got him in trouble with Josuke.
I just realized
That is
so,
true.
these
Yeah.
are- like, Ditto, you brought the point. Like, that's actually kind of crazy. Imagine so if Light writes down Yoshikage Kira's name, right, and Kira at this point he's already taken someone else's identity. Well, actually, how does that?
I don't think. I think if he
still
wrote down
Yoshikage
Yoshikage
Kira.
Kira,
Yeah, he's
he
still
would
Yoshikage
die.
Kira.
Yoshikage Kira,
But
after he
He
did the
sees
thing.
the guy and is like, "Oh, that's clearly Kosaku Kawajiri. It's his face. It's his
Sorry,
house."
it's blurry. God, what does that mean?
Based question. That's the hero we need.
He's not an art.
Ain't no
Thanks
narc.
for this question. The question. This has been a fun cast, though. I've really enjoyed it. Like, it's chill.
I am
I'm just glad
sorry
I got to
that
talk about JoJo.
this wasn't the. Are you on a streak now?
Me?
Yeah, because you've been in 3 casts, right?
Yeah, but my streak is fitting because it's fitting to my name.
But that's kind of tragic because you're unironically like one of the. I probably say like you're in like the top 3 or 4 like debaters in our group actually, so it's weird that you've gone like this.
There's not much I can really do. Like, which
It's
is,
because
like,
we keep putting you
Mortal
up
Kombat
against
stuff.
Saul because you're like one of the only people that can actually keep up with Saul.
Yeah, like there's not much. Yeah, I mean, once again, it's fun. Like, dude, Saul's like super dedicated, like, man. He's
Yeah.
got a extremely awesome work ethic. Work ethic. I can't believe this. Anyways, yeah, like I don't know, just very talented, diligent dude.
Yeah, he is. He is. Anything else anyone wants to say, or can we call it a wrap?
I'd rather call it a burger, to be honest.
Call it a
Whoa,
burger.
yeah, the burger.
Actually, it's a gyro. Oh, we're going back to part 7. Let's go!
Pizza, mozzarella.
Mozzarella, pizza,
Yeah.
mozzarella.
That
We're just-
hasta la pasta. We'll see you next time. Bye.